Jag Mods. In this video we are going to be covering lock wire. It's that wire that holds the bolts together, and it's a long one, so let's get started. Okay, so you want to pull this as tight as you can so you don't have a loop there, and like I do right now. So just kind of give it a tug. Now, granted, this is not Air Force, so or aviation, so it's not that big a deal. And the other thing you want to do is you want to kind of keep, so you want to put a nice tight twist in here, so because this is going to be our first one to hold all this together. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. And this, these kinks are what you don't want to do, because it will, there we go. And so now we're started. And we're going to come up here just about where we want. So we're going to come up and come into there. Actually, we want to come into here. So let's give these a tug. I don't know if I'm in the way. I can't tell. I'm trying not to be. Alright. There's that. So we're going to be coming in right about there. I quite haven't mastered these things. I don't think I have enough wire. So we actually will probably only be doing a couple of them at a time. Yikes. Just what I didn't want to do. So the goal is to get about 8 to 12 twists per foot. And see, I did that one too short. I screwed up. So let's do the rest of it by hand. Alright, so we're going to come in through the bottom. We want to pull this one through the bottom because it's at the top. And we don't want it to unwind. Sorry if my arm's in the way. I'm kind of focused on getting this done. Alright, so there's that. And now I'll come through here like that. Alright, so now we'll give this a tug to pull those. There's that and that. And we're going to want to put a single twist into this so it doesn't walk over the nut, and then we come back over the top like this. And put our twists in. come in through the bottom. Of course, I did it again. Got too many twists in. So that's going to come in through here. Get this paint can out of the way. So we want to come in through the bottom. So this is the one we want to go through. I've got the ends of the wires all tangled up, so I'm wrestling with a lot of this stuff off frame. There we go. Alright, so there's that one. Goes my paint job. I'm going to have to touch it up. Alright, so now this is going to come through this one. Like that. So I pull these both tight. I kind of get the loops kind of the same so you don't end up with stuff not being tight the way you want it to be. Now you give them a tug. There's that one. And there's that one. So there's, you want to tighten up the slack here. So I'm just trying to get a grip. Trying to get a grip. Yeah, I'm trying to get a grip on this. Alright, so pull that tight. And kind of get a little closer. I haven't quite figured out how you one-handedly lock these things. And, well, fuck. Oops, sorry, my bad. Alright, so now we're going to put a twist in these. Of course, these are all nicked up, and if I was a aircraft mechanic, I would get marked down for this, but I'm not. Kind of takes me back when I used to. There we go. All right. So I'm just kind of getting it tight, and then we're gonna run it around the top. Of course, I got these things all wrapped around pliers. There. And we're going to take this down. We're going to pull on it because we need to come in through the bottom. This is a little difficult, so I can try to do this while you guys can see, because otherwise this would be all in my... Alright, so now we want to come in through there. So we want to put our twists right here. So then you squeeze these. For fuck's sake. Alright, and then give them a pull. So you can see this wire when you're working with really long wire, it has a tendency to kind of want a rat's nest up. Alright, so that's about as tight as we want to get our twists, because otherwise the wire will break. And then you got to start all over again. And I don't want to do that. Alright, so release this. And these are twisted. So I want this one I want to go through the bottom, right there. I'll take that. There's that one, and I'll take this one. So that went through. So we'll put this one through this hole. Try to get it to come out there. No, not that one. This wire's starting to get stiff from being handled. Yeah, it's just like a guy. His wire gets stiff when it's handled. He said handled. Alright, so I've got the caliper on. Now I'm just going to apply the lock wire, and I just thought I ripped off a piece. Oh, I did. I didn't cut it yet. Alright. So this is our lock wire. Just kind of straighten it out. Alright, so I want the wire to come off of this side, so it's going to kind of pull it tight. We'll just run it through there. So I got a hold of it. Just kind of push it through. Kind of get it as even as possible at the ends. Alright, so we want this wire, the one that I pushed through, to go on the outside. So when I pull it tight, it doesn't, walk off the head of the bolt. Alright. Give them a twist. And then up to here, so we want to come in on the back side. Right. So we're going to be coming in. We want the one that's going under coming from the back. So I'm just kind of do this. The one thing that crossed my mind originally was, why don't we just use Loctite? Well, Loctite...
Excuse me for interrupting myself, but for those of you who are still with me and haven't slipped off into a coma, you may have noticed that the lock wire is on backwards. The twist should be coming from the top of the bolt, roughly about, let's say 11 o'clock position, to keep the bolt from loosening. Looking at the holes at the bottom bolt, the wire should be entering probably, let's say about the 8 o'clock position. Of course, someplace it's really not easy to get to, obviously. The way it is now, if I tug hard enough on the wire, I could loosen the bolt, well, providing that there wasn't a lock washer installed too. Anyway, I noticed this while I was editing, which prompted me to hightail it to the garage and fix my screw up. I also bent the wire over so I wouldn't cut myself.
Just gonna give it another twist. Add that in. And give it a twist. Oops, I went the wrong way. Yep, see how that just walked off? It's because I twisted it the wrong way. So I'll just twist these behind. And so when you buy lock wire pliers, get the good ones. Don't cheap out like I did and get the the cheap ones that aren't reversible. Fuck.
So there you have it. The output shaft is all locked in from the top of the one to the bottom of the next bolt, all done in the proper order. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. Click the bell for the next video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.